What if I told you that there's a hidden power in the Bible that can transform the way you see scarcity? What if this ancient wisdom isn't just about survival, but about thriving, experiencing abundance in ways you never thought possible? Imagine being able to break free from financial struggles, emotional turmoil, and spiritual dryness, simply by unlocking the life-changing promises found in Psalm 145. It may sound too good to be true, but I assure you, it's not. In today's video, we're diving into how this psalm reveals God's provision, showing us that abundance isn't just about wealth, but peace, joy, and unwavering faith. Stick with us, because what you're about to discover could change everything. In today's world, many of us find ourselves stuck in a cycle of scarcity. We struggle with the feeling that there's never enough money, enough time, enough energy. But Psalm 145 offers a powerful remedy. This psalm speaks of God's abundant provision, reminding us that His resources are limitless. It's a call to stop living in fear of lack and start embracing the truth that God is more than capable of providing everything we need. When we truly trust in the words of Psalm 145, we can break free from the anxiety of scarcity. The psalm teaches that God is generous and will provide for those who seek Him with a sincere heart. It's not just about material needs. God provides for our emotional and spiritual needs too. That means, when we focus on His promises, we open ourselves to an abundance that goes beyond the physical world. It's about cultivating a mindset of faith and trusting that God's provision is sufficient, regardless of the circumstances. Embracing this divine provision doesn't just happen overnight. It requires a shift in how we think about our needs and desires. The psalm invites us to pray with faith, knowing that God is more than capable of meeting all our needs. It encourages us to move from a mindset of lack to one of trust and abundance. And as we make this shift, we begin to witness the transformation not just in our circumstances, but in our hearts and minds too. So, how do we start this journey of transformation? Let's continue exploring. God's generosity is the cornerstone of Psalm 145. It's not a generosity measured by human standards, but one that transcends anything we could ever imagine. The psalm doesn't just suggest that God provides. It emphasizes that He provides abundantly. For those who sincerely seek Him, there is a promise of never-ending supply. It's as if the floodgates of heaven are opened, pouring out blessings that extend far beyond what we could ever hope for or ask. This generosity isn't conditional. It doesn't depend on our performance or how much we have in the bank. Instead, it relies on one thing: our willingness to seek God with a sincere heart. God's provision isn't just about giving us what we want. It's about giving us what we need. And often, what we need is not just material wealth, but peace, joy, and spiritual fulfillment. This divine provision creates a life of balance and stability, a life where trust in God becomes the foundation for everything we do. But here's the thing: the abundance we're promised isn't always what we expect. It's not always instant or visible in the way we'd like. God's generosity works in mysterious ways. Sometimes, it comes as a new opportunity. Other times, it might appear as a sudden wave of peace in a chaotic moment. Whatever form it takes, we can trust that it will be exactly what we need. The key is to recognize God's generosity in all forms, big and small. And this is just the beginning of understanding the depth of His provision. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when facing challenges, whether financial struggles, emotional turmoil, or spiritual dryness. But Psalm 145 encourages us to believe that no matter what we're going through, God can transform it. His promises are not just words on a page. They are living, breathing truths that have the power to reshape our lives. When we trust in these promises, we open the door for God's transformative power to work in us, moving us from scarcity to abundance in every area of life. Imagine trusting God with your finances, knowing that He's already promised to provide for you. It's not about being passive, but actively putting your faith in Him. God's transformation isn't about instant results. It's about the process of growth. As we align our hearts with His promises, we start to notice changes: less fear, more peace, and a deep sense of security that doesn't depend on the market or our bank account. This shift is spiritual, and it begins with trusting that God knows your needs even before you ask. Emotionally, the transformation can be just as profound. When we face trials, whether grief, anxiety, or fear, Psalm 145 reminds us that God is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. His promises bring healing, emotional restoration, and a renewed sense of hope. Trusting in God's provision for our emotional well-being isn't about avoiding pain, but about having faith that even in our darkest moments, He will provide the strength and comfort we need to get through. There's something incredibly powerful about declaring your faith. It's not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about speaking truth into existence. When we declare that we trust God to provide, we're reinforcing our belief in His power and goodness. Psalm 145 calls us to openly acknowledge God's generosity, especially in times of scarcity. This isn't just a passive belief. It's a bold, active declaration that we know God is with us and will provide for all our needs. In moments of financial struggle or emotional hardship, declaring your faith in God's provision can shift your perspective entirely. Instead of focusing on the lack, you begin to focus on the abundance that is promised to you. It's like changing the lens through which you view the world. When you speak faith, you're aligning yourself with God's promises and reminding your heart that He is faithful. This declaration isn't a one-time act. It's something you can do daily to keep your faith anchored in His truth. By trusting that God will provide in times of scarcity, you open yourself to receive His blessings in ways you may not have expected. It might not look the way you envisioned, but it will be exactly what you need. This trust isn't blind. It's rooted in the assurance that God's word is true and that He never fails His children. In those moments when scarcity seems overwhelming, your declaration of faith becomes the anchor that holds you steady through the storm. One of the most profound truths we can embrace is how deeply God cares for us. Psalm 145 reflects God's love and mercy, showing that He not only knows our needs, but is eager to provide for them. Just as He cares for the birds of the sky and the lilies of the field, He cares for us with that same tender affection. Imagine that the Creator of the universe, with all His power, is concerned about every detail of our lives, big and small. This love isn't conditional. It's constant, unchanging, and unwavering. What's truly amazing about God's provision is that it comes from a place of mercy. He doesn't give us what we deserve, but blesses us abundantly out of His grace. Just as the birds don't worry about where their next meal is coming from, and the lilies don't strive to grow, we're invited to trust that God will provide for us without us having to struggle or earn it. His mercy ensures that our needs are met not because we're worthy, but because of His boundless love for us. Understanding this can transform how we approach life. When we recognize that God's provision is rooted in His love and mercy, we can stop striving in fear and start living in peace. The birds and lilies don't stress over their existence, and neither should we. We're reminded that God, in His infinite care, will meet all our needs, whether material, emotional, or spiritual. So, in trusting His provision, we can rest, knowing that the Creator has everything under control. When we talk about abundance, it's easy to think only in terms of material wealth, money, possessions, and resources. But Psalm 145 reminds us that true abundance goes far beyond that. Abundance in God's eyes is not limited to the physical realm. It includes peace, joy, and unwavering faith. It's about living a life of contentment, regardless of the circumstances around you. The abundance God offers fills your spirit, bringing you a sense of peace that surpasses understanding and joy that doesn't depend on external circumstances. Peace is one of the greatest gifts God provides. It's the peace that calms the storm within your heart, even when chaos surrounds you. This peace isn't something you can buy or achieve on your own. It's a gift from God that flows when we trust in His promises. True abundance isn't found in accumulating things, but in cultivating a deep, abiding peace that allows us to live freely, without fear or anxiety. And joy. It's a natural overflow of this peace, a joy that bubbles up from within, regardless of what the world throws your way. Faith is the third component of abundance that the psalm speaks to. Faith in God's provision is a steady anchor that keeps you grounded when everything else seems uncertain. It's not about having all the answers or knowing how everything will turn out. It's about trusting that God has a plan and that His provision is more than enough. When we operate from a place of faith, we begin to experience the fullness of God's abundance in all aspects of life: spiritual, emotional, and even material. As we cultivate peace, joy, and faith, we discover a life richer than anything we could have imagined. Trusting God when life feels uncertain can be one of the most challenging yet rewarding things we do. Psalm 145 encourages us to trust Him, even when circumstances seem impossible or bleak. It's easy to have faith when everything is going well, but true faith is tested in moments of adversity. The video calls us to hold on to God's promises, especially when we can't see the miracle just yet. It's in these moments of waiting that our trust is strengthened and our faith grows deeper, shaping us into the individuals God desires us to be. Having faith before the miracle is like planting a seed in the ground and trusting that it will grow, even though you can't see the roots forming beneath the soil. It's about believing in the outcome before you experience it. Many people struggle with this concept because they want tangible proof before they can trust. But faith, by its very nature, requires a belief in the unseen. God calls us to have faith in His provision, trusting that even in tough times, He is working behind the scenes to bring about a miracle. This is where the power of declaration comes into play. When we speak words of faith, we activate the promise that God has already given us. It's not about waiting for everything to fall into place before we declare our trust in God. Instead, we speak it out loud, and in doing so, we invite His provision into our lives. As we hold on to His promises, we begin to see how God is moving, often in ways we couldn't have predicted or imagined. Trusting before seeing the miracle not only deepens our relationship with God, but sets us on the path to experiencing His power in real, tangible ways. There's something incredibly powerful about sharing a testimony. When we tell others about the ways God has provided for us, we not only inspire them, but also reaffirm God's faithfulness in our own lives. The speaker encourages viewers to share their stories because, in doing so, we magnify God's goodness and create a ripple effect of encouragement. Testimonies are proof that God is alive and at work, and they remind us all that what He has done for one, He can do for another. This isn't just about telling a nice story. It's about proclaiming the truth of God's provision to a world that desperately needs to hear it. When you share your testimony, you invite others to see the real, tangible effects of God's power and provision. It's not about having a perfect story, but a real story that speaks to God's ability to meet our needs, whether big or small. Whether it's financial breakthroughs, healing from emotional wounds, or experiencing peace during difficult times, your testimony has the power to encourage someone else who may be struggling with doubt. And when you subscribe to channels that provide uplifting, faith-filled content, you're also opening the door to more of God's truth entering your life. This act of sharing doesn't just bless others, it strengthens your own faith. The more we talk about God's provision, the more we recognize how much He's done for us. It's a cycle of praise that builds faith in our hearts and in the hearts of those around us. The speaker's call to share your testimony is not just an invitation to celebrate God's goodness. It's a challenge to reflect on how God has moved in your life and to give Him the glory He deserves. And of course, subscribing to this channel means you'll continue to receive more of the encouragement and inspiration needed to keep walking in faith, trusting in His provision every step of the way. Are you ready to experience God's abundant provision in your own life? Think about what it would look like if you truly believe that God is faithful to provide, no matter the circumstances. What area of your life could use a miracle right now? Take a moment and reflect on what you can surrender to Him, trusting that He will meet your needs, just as He promised in Psalm 145. I encourage you to share your own story of how God has provided for you. Your testimony has the power to inspire others and build faith in those who need it most. And don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications so you never miss out on more empowering content like this. The abundance God offers is waiting for you. All it takes is the faith to receive it. Are you ready to embrace it?